Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all doing okay. I thought I would jump on here a few minutes because I need to rant so bad. I'll wait for a few of you guys to come in first, but Arsenal have lost to Liverpool 2-0, and I'm really annoyed right now. I'm laughing because if I don't laugh, I'll really cry. I don't know how that game has turned out that way. We really should have won that like 3 or 4-0, or actually more than that. Um, but obviously, I do congratulate Liverpool because when they had their chances, they took it. They grew into the game. After a while, I think the first half for me, I kind of knew when we weren't going to take our chances that we wouldn't win because this is what it's been like in the last few games. I think today, what I will say is we were a lot better than we usually have been. I felt like our play was a lot more better. I felt like we didn't really look as predictable as we usually are, which I think is a positive thing. And yeah, I thought we were exciting to start off with. I think changing the team was really important for the team. Bringing Reece Nelson in definitely helped us, and I'm a bit disappointed that he got subbed off early because I don't think he deserved that. But yeah, we were creating things. We were doing things on the left, on the right, through the middle. Like I feel like that had really changed, and I think that was a positive to take. But in that final third, we just can't score. I feel so frustrated because we should have won this. But like Chris says here, smash and grab. You could say you don't take chances, you get punished. We were better in the second half. That performance was full of resilience and grit from us. Nunes did piss me off with his end product. Yeah. Hey Phil, hope you're okay. I was more confident than the more chances you missed. Yeah, I think for me it was ours to kind of lose, I suppose, because the amount of chances we had in the first half, we had some in the second half. I know Saka had quite a few as well. But I knew that if we didn't take our chances that we would get punished. And I think Liverpool, I think they deserve it in the sense that they were the more resilient team. They were the one that took their chances more, and they did what they had to do to win the game. So I think they deserve credit for that. But yeah, for me, it's a massive disappointment. It's obviously hard because it's a trophy at the end of the day. I love the FA Cup, and it's another season without us winning it, and I just really want us to win a trophy so bad. But we do have the Champions League, of course. We do have the league, which is a bit tough, but my biggest problem is where do we go from here? Like, I know we don't play for a little bit, but I just feel like we're losing so many games right now. We've not won since that draw at Anfield. Like, we're really going downhill. And I do think we need a striker, but the problem right now is I do believe this team can score. These chances they've had today, they're good enough to take. So I can't understand why all the players are struggling to score. And oh, I'm just so frustrated. I'm not gonna lie. It's really annoying. Um, I fully enjoyed the game, but we have to be more. And I did enjoy it up until Liverpool scored. Was delighted for Ramsdale. I thought his save from Diaz was superb. Yeah, I think what I would say, I think Ramsdale had an excellent game today. I know at the start he played a really nice pass up to Reece Nelson, and looking back, Reece Nelson probably should have chipped the keeper, but he went past him and it hit the side netting. But like Ramsdale created that amazing pass, and I think Ramsdale had a really sharp game. I think he did everything right, and I do wish to see him more because there's things I saw in that game, moments I don't think Raya would do. The saves he made, the passes he made. I don't think Raya has that in his locker. Listen, they're both different goalkeepers, but it was really lovely to see Ramsdale. He made some really important saves for us, and I'll be honest, I don't think the goals were really at his fault. Kivior he's playing at left back. He's not comfortable in that position. I think you can see that. But yeah, I think for me with Kivior, massive disappointment to obviously concede that goal because it did affect us, our confidence. I could see that. But yeah, I think defensively, I do think we did good. I think Saliba made some excellent tackles. I think we did really well, but then when they scored, it did really feel like a slap in the face, and we struggled after that, which was obviously really disappointing. Um, I refuse to get involved in the negativity. I saw a post from the gun that said if we lose, Arteta should be sacked. Just ridiculous. Yeah, I think, you know what, Arteta does have to take accountability today because it's not his fault the players don't take their chances, but he did make quite a few. I feel like with Smith Rowe, right? I do want to talk about this because I'm not saying Smith Rowe would have like won us the game or anything like that, but I don't understand why he's bringing him on in the 88th minute because for me, Smith Rowe really makes an impact. He brings this energy, this intensity that we need in the game, and it's not fair on him. Like I think out of our substitutes, especially like Trossard as well, he definitely deserves like more minutes. And to bring them on right after we've just conceded, I don't quite get. So for me, it's obviously really frustrating that they've not been getting 1 minute, and I can't understand why they're not getting much minutes either, because they really do deserve a lot more than they're getting. And you do have to ask Arteta about that because it isn't fair on Smith Rowe. I think Smith Rowe's career will be questioned at the end of the season. And if he did want to go, I wouldn't blame him because he's not really getting many opportunities, is he? So for that, I wouldn't blame Smith Rowe. But yeah, I just feel like why bring Eddie on right at the end when we know we've lost the game? Like, I don't really get that for me. And there are questions that I do want to ask Arteta, but listen, today we just didn't take our chances. That's why we lost. Like Phil said, we did really good. Our build-up play was excellent, and it was enjoyable to watch. But if you don't take the chances, you don't win. But I will talk a bit about some of our chances that we had because, like Phil said, it was a really enjoyable game. I think for me, obviously I mentioned Reece Nelson had that great pass from Ramsdale. He really should have scored that. But yeah, we did have a lot of chances. I know Havertz had quite a good one in the first half. It was quite a safe one for Alisson to get to though. Odegaard hit the crossbar, and I just thought, I just had a feeling it would be one of those days because it was such a great opportunity. Obviously, I do want to talk about some defensive, moments that I really thought we did well in. Is that I know Trent went on a really good run in the first half, and he delivered a cross in the box, and I thought Ben White did really good to, stop that from going in the back of the net. I think Ben White had some really good moments. I know that Curtis Jones did a really good move, and Ben White got a foul because he literally just grabbed him, but that was funny from Ben White, I do have to admit. But yeah, he had to do a bit better there. But yeah, I thought Ben White had some really good moments today. I know that he's been injured. I know that he's been playing through an injury and we don't have many options at right back. But I thought, yeah, I was impressed by him today. Saliba did this really good tackle. I think that was in the second half. I thought that was incredible. Saliba always times his side tackles on the right times. But I really liked it when Nunes was chasing the ball down. Saliba defending was really good, and I remember at one time he passed it to Ramsdale, who cleared it out, and he just does everything really perfectly. Saliba, I think, is incredible. Joy to have at Arsenal, and whenever he's defending, you just know he's going to do the right thing. For me, I was chuffed Nelson starts. Thought he played well. Should do his confidence up. Yeah, definitely. I think he had a really good game. I thought he was really energetic and making things happen. And I'd love to see him get more minutes because I think Saka today, I don't know, anyone who knows me knows I love Saka and he's my guy, but I think he needs a bit of a rest for our next game, possibly. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he's out of form, struggling to score. I feel like he is trying to make things happen. You can't, deny that he's working hard, but it's just not working for him. His chances are way over the top of the crossbar. They're just not there. So I'd be open to maybe bringing Nelson in. And I've got to say, when Marcelli came on, he made it really difficult for Trent. And I just thought that it reminded me of the old Marcelli that we know. I felt like his confidence was really growing. And when he was getting into the box, he was putting some really good crosses in and really trying to make things happen. I thought Havertz as well. It's a difficult one for Havertz because a lot of people have said that he didn't think he did well. I think in front of goal, Havertz should have done better with his chances. But with his build-up play, with the crosses, I think he did really well because we had a free kick technique, and I think Havertz, or I think it might have been Havertz, was there, and he put a cross in the box, and Saka whacked it over the crossbar, and I just felt like Havertz, it was a great move for him. And if we scored that, people would be talking about that Havertz, cross. But because we don't take our chances, the other players won't get that credit. But yeah, he brought Eddie on to try and get an equaliser, so positive for me. We never gave up and we should have won. Yeah, I mean, I get that, but why he should be bringing Eddie on a lot sooner, in my opinion, because we should be playing to win, not really playing for a draw at the end. So for me, I really wanted Eddie to come on a lot sooner. And we know we've got a limited amount of players, injuries as well. Picking up Jesus is injured. I think Jesus could have helped us today, but it just felt like one of those games again where we have a lot of the ball with a better team, but we can't finish our chances. And with this our third loss in a row, since Anfield, we've really struggled, and it is a worrying sign. Because yes, we're the striker, and I hope Arteta recognises that, but we do have a lot of problems. It is a concern. Yeah, Saliba really was good. Another ref who deemed it. Yeah, I think for me, I don't think the referee was great today. I think he should have gave out more yellow cards. Because there were quite a few tackles in there. It was quite a rough game. But yeah, I just think for me, we just didn't take our chances, and that's why we're out of the FA Cup. And it's obviously disappointing that we're out. I didn't really want a replay, so I'm glad that didn't happen. But I just thought it was our game to win, really, and that's why it's so devastating, because we did so much right, really, with everything we did. We just can't score. I just didn't know when we're next going to score. It feels like we're never really going to get the back of the net. Havertz will never score goals, but the rest of his play is good. Almost like Jesus, we need a proper striker. Yes, we do. I think it's clear to see that now. We need a prolific goal scorer. I said in this game that I think the chances we had, our players are good enough to take it, but I just think with some players they're not in good form, and they're really struggling to get on the score sheet. And yeah, it was just really devastating, because I looked at that lineup today and I actually thought it was a really strong lineup. But it's just, yeah, I feel a bit fed up of us not taking our chances, because there's not much we can do. We've got this team. Arteta's changed things today, which I admired about him. The thing for me with Kivior, I want to say, he is put in a position that's probably not he's probably not comfortable with, and that's probably why he's conceding goals and doing things like that. So I think it's obviously affecting him. But yeah, it wasn't a great goal to concede. But I don't think Ramsdale could have done much on that. But we just need to get a left back in, I think. But that wasn't our biggest problem today. I think the midfield was balanced quite well. I liked the midfield. I was really happy with that. Jorginho, really happy Arteta gave him a chance. Yeah, I really do hope that is. I mean, you can't look at Ramsdale today and say he doesn't deserve to play more often. I really don't hope that's his last game of the club, because I thought I know he's probably one of our best players. I know that in the first half, Liverpool didn't give him a lot to do, but I just feel like with whatever he had, he did make some good saves. I know Liverpool had a really good shot on target, and Ramsdale made that fantastic save. So I don't feel like the scoreline didn't really represent how good Ramsdale was today. Big up, Soph. Hello, PB Talks. I hope you're okay after that horrible defeat. Big up, Soph. Do you think Arteta deserves to stay if he doesn't win anything this season? This is a question that I've seen go around a lot, and I know people curious. My answer is I'm not sure. I think Arteta's done a lot for our club. He's done a lot for the culture. But I just feel like getting rid of Arteta, would that be a mistake? Possibly. I also understand that we can't go another season without winning anything. So it's a tough call. I'm not a fan of getting rid of managers, especially now, because I feel like we're going in the right direction. I think last season, no one expected us to go for the league. I know a club like Arsenal should be going for the league. So do you know what my honest opinion is? I just want us to do well. I want us to win things. And Arteta, I know the Community Shield is not really a big trophy, but I did think this season it was a start for us to have success back at the club. And the season, I feel like we're in a really bad way at the moment. Thought we did well, but then things are just not good right now. I really don't know right now. I mean, yeah, it's a tough one. But yeah, I'll be back with Sam tomorrow, guys. By the way, we'll be chatting about the game. I think we need some therapy because I'm really struggling with this defeat. It's yeah. I think it's too simple to say sack Arteta if we don't win a trophy. People forget where we were 2 to 3 seasons ago. Yeah, I think I agree. I mean, I desperately want us to win a trophy. I've said this season it's a must, like to win a trophy. We're in the Champions League. Obviously we've got the league. I know the league people are saying right now it's a tough one to call. I wouldn't say I don't think we should be written off for the league. I still think we're in it, but I think probably Liverpool, Man City have a better chance because of their squad. I know Mo Salah's gone away, but they do have him. Man City have got Haaland. They've got a big bench that we don't have. Yes, we do have some players that we have on our bench, but I would say it depends what we do in January. If we don't sign a striker, then I will question Arteta, and I will question why, because it's a must for me to bring a striker in. I mean, I know midfield. I just feel like there's a few positions we need to strengthen in, but the striker for me is that number one, and I hope Arteta does see that. You've got to see that by our performances recently. Our performance today was much, much better than what it has been, and I do credit the team and Arteta for that. But we do have to take our chances. But I think if we don't win the league, like I'm not one that likes to go on about getting rid of managers. Like Phil said, sometimes it's simple to say that because we've seen what Arteta's done for us in our club. So I think I'd like to stick by him, but I'm also don't want us to go another 10 years of not win a trophy because I feel tired of that. It's annoying. We want to have success back at the club. So I do think that's another thing we do have to think about. I mean, I know people will say Arteta out at this minute, but it is frustrating because I don't think Arteta's making the right decisions for things. I think especially substitutes. I do think Eddie should have came on a lot sooner. I do think there's one that really did baffle me that I just can't understand is that when Reece Nelson came off for Martinelli, I just didn't get that. Like Saka for me, I love Saka. He's one of my favourite players, but he has been really poor in this game. And I just feel like why not bring him off and give him a bit of a rest? Reece Nelson was the one that was making things happen. So I didn't understand that either. That's one that really did kind of frustrate me because you could really see Reece Nelson was trying to make things happen, trying to get in the box and do things, and I just wonder would the game have been different if that would have happened. So I don't understand those decisions at time. I'm not gonna like say I agree with everything Arteta does because I'm still struggling to understand. I don't get it. Oh, I do feel a bit trained by that result. I'm not gonna lie. There is only the Premier League and Champions League left, and to win either will have to be better. But as long as we keep competing and moving forward, I'll be happy. Maybe because I've been through this 77, 78. Yeah, I mean, I'm used to this as an Arsenal fan. It's not always good moments. You do have to face difficult moments as a club. I just think last season, since when you look at us now, do you think we have declined a bit? I mean, injuries haven't helped us, and you can't predict injuries, can you? These things just happen. I think for me, when we get Partey back, I think we'll be much better. But yeah, I just feel like what I've noticed is today. I don't want to pick on players, but I read a lot online, and from what I saw, I feel like what I noticed is that with Odegaard, I feel like he'd rather pass to a player and them to score than rather him scoring himself. And I just wish he would take his opportunities and score for himself. Because I feel like a lot of the time when we did have the ball, say for Havertz, he was taking too many touches on the ball instead of just shooting. But yeah, I think when we did shoot, some of our chances weren't great. Others were really good. I know Ben White had a really good one. I think it was just before the first half ended. And I just thought it was a really impressive shot from him. Alisson did get his hand to it, but Yeah, really good to see Ben White try to give it a go for going forward, because I know people have questioned his ability because he looks like he has been injured while he's been playing. So I feel like it was really good to see him yeah, give that a go, because we do need players to give these chances a go. I'd rather players shoot and then miss than not shoot, because at least you can see they're giving that effort a chance. Um Real finishing was a problem. With a clinical forward, we could have won the game. Yeah, I can't argue with that. I do think we do need a striker. I've said this for a while. We really need him one. I think for me, Jesus obviously has been injured. I know it's a minor injury, which is a good news for the team. But like him and Partey for me are great players, but they get injured too much, and it really is affecting us. I feel like we need players that are going to be consistent, reliable. We need players that we can rely on for the league, because it's not going to help us. Yeah, don't go relying on Partey to come back and stay fit. I think it's unlikely. I know that when Partey is in the team, he does elevate the team. We are a much better team. He creates things out of nothing. But like you said, Phil, he gets injured too much. It's a tough one. We've got players that do get injured quite a lot, and it's just not really good. I love Jesus, but he isn't a striker. Yeah, I think with Jesus, I feel like since his injuries, has not really been the same player. I mean, in the Champions League, he's been really impressive to watch, and he has done some amazing things. But I just feel like we can't really rely on some players in the team that get injured too much. And we know injuries are part of football, but it isn't helping us one bit. I do think we need to bring in a goal scorer that's really going to help us win the league. I think for me, what I said last season, it would be harder to win the league this season because there's other teams in the mix. We know Man City will improve, even though they were excellent last season. They'll want to win more. They'll have that hunger to do that. And I knew Liverpool would be back to their best. And you know what? Today they did have a weak lineup, but that lineup was really good. And they weren't at their best, but they had chances they could take. And I just feel like I don't know if the reason why we're not scoring. I know we do need a striker, but I just think some players could be low on confidence, could be, just struggling, because it wasn't. We had so many chances. Havertz as well had a few, but took a few too many touches. And Odegaard had I think when Odegaard hit the crossbar, I was like, I just wanted to cry at that point. It was weird because at half time, when it was a draw, it didn't feel like a boring 0-0 draw. It just felt like a really exciting game to watch. I'm sure neutrals that watched that game were quite enjoyed watching it. Chris says, shows the goal scorer is needed for Arsenal, and you need a natural centre midfielder, two better options off the bench. Yeah, yeah. I think the problem we're having now. Obviously, we know we need a striker, but I do think the lack of players on the bench to bring on. Like we do have Trossard, and we did have Martinelli, and Martinelli did really make an impact. But for me, Trossard didn't have enough time to do anything. He came on at like the 88th minute, I think, and obviously don't agree with that because it doesn't give him enough time. It gave him like under 10 minutes. Like he needs at least 15 to 20 minutes to get in the game. So I just feel like for me, if he would have brought Trossard on sooner, you never know what could have happened, because Trossard has shown us that he can be our super sub for us and really make that impact. Like Olivier Giroud, like when he came on, he would really make things happen. But yeah, I just think that squad depth is a big problem for us right now, because if you look at Man City's, you've got Grealish, you've got, De Bruyne is coming back, and we don't have that luxury. So I think the summer, I do want us to go big because that's for long-term things. But I think in the January window, I just think we've really, like, the midfield's important, because if Declan Rice gets injured, we're in trouble. But the striker one is, for me, the one we've got to go for, because it's clear to see now. I'm sure, Liverpool fans as well will think this. We also need a striker. We did so much well. We just couldn't be clinical. I hope they enjoy their trip to Dubai. Lucky sods. Yeah, listen, I think we don't play until the 21st or something, so we'll have a bit of a rest from Arsenal. I think as fans, we'll need a bit of a break, but yeah, I think it will be interesting to see. I do hope we can beat Crystal Palace, but we're just not scoring anymore. Yeah, I do think Liverpool's depth is much better. I know you don't have Salah, but if you look at Nunes, Jota, you could bring on Jota and make that impact. You've got Diaz. I know with our squad we have now, we should be scoring. Martinelli, Saka, Trossard, but we're just not scoring. We just can't score. It's just really, not a great time. I wouldn't be scared if Trossard came on way earlier, as always scores against us. I think Trossard as well is another one who's really struggling with confidence. And I would have liked Arteta to bring him on a lot sooner. I don't know why it took him so much time to wait. Yeah, I would have put him on in like the 80th minute, give him at least a bit more time rather than the 88th minute. I feel like that's just too long to have. Um, our Sharma said, I think it's time for Arteta to go. He got us as far as he could. He has reached his ceiling. I mean, there are questions about whether Arteta can win us the league. I really hope he can. I do think he can bring us silverware, but we've not won anything in like a long time. I think the last time we won something under him was 2020, and it's now 2024. So I think it's a long season. The FA Cup's out for us, unfortunately. I did think if we did come second and we won that, it would feel a lot better because we want trophies. Um, I don't know. I hope we can. I know people question Arteta now, and they're completely in the right to have their opinion to do that. Um, because I don't really understand some of Arteta's decisions myself. I do question them regarding his substitutes. He is leaving things quite late. When he only made a substitute when Liverpool scored, and I just feel like he should have done that before they scored. So we had more of a chance to score if we put through a few more of our attacking players, because it was clear to see Saka was having a poor game. He was struggling to produce things, like he was struggling to score. When he had chances, he did hit it over the crossbar. So for me, with that, I just feel like Arteta really could have made a bit of a difference, bringing on Trossard, keeping different players on and not taking them off. Like Reece Nelson, don't get why he had to come off. I thought he had an excellent game. I know that he had some chances that he should have taken, but he really did help with our different kind of style of play. Arsenal have been looking quite predictable in our last few games, and I felt like he brought this different type of energy, this style of play to the team that we really needed. Um, so I feel like like to give Reece Nelson more opportunities. I know that there are questions about if he would leave, would we get money for him? I think right now we've got to really play Reece Nelson. I know that when Saka can really score some incredible goals for us, but he's just not really doing it right now, like a few of our players aren't. But I just think we need a little break from Arsenal. I'll be glad. I mean, I do miss them when they're not playing, but I just feel a bit drained. It's really tough, isn't it? Because I love the FA Cup. I just wanted to win it. I know we did get a tough fixture with Liverpool, but we would have had to play them anyway. Um, do you think the return of Timber will be a transformative impact? Really good question. I do think he'll definitely help us defensively, because when he played in that Community Shield game, you could really see that he was probably our best player out there. He was up there on Saliba's level. I felt like, you know, you could really see that he reached a different level, and we really do miss him. So I agree. I do think he will be a big impact, but I do think if we don't buy a striker, we're going to still have the same issues, even if Timber comes back, because defensively, we do okay, and then when we don't take our chances, the other team scores. So I just feel like Timber has been a big loss. I feel like we do really miss him. We need him in this team. So I really do hope, he will help us. I know it's said about March time he would come back. So let's just hope that, we find ways to get back winning, because we've really not won in a little while, and I just want to win a game of football. I just want us to see us score in the back of the net, and it is very, very frustrating, but definitely looking forward to seeing Timber back. I know that there have been rumours that Partey could be back in February. So I really do hope that is the case. But like Phil said, his injuries could happen again. He's not very reliable. But Timber's injury was just very unfortunate. Phil says, we've been rebuilding and still a few players away from Arteta's squad being completed. To short term, Liverpool went 30 years without a league title. Yeah, true. Liverpool did go a really long time. I think as we got so close last season, it's really shown what we can achieve. But yeah, we just seem a lot different this season. We had 10 years of decline under Wenger. It takes time to turn a club around. It's far too soon to call time Arteta. Yeah, I agree. I do think Arteta obviously has done a lot for our club. I know people look at the trophies, and we have won the FA Cup, the Community Shield, the start of the season. But I feel like our club we're in a much better place than we were a few seasons ago. In Wenger's last few years, I do think we were. I feel like it was quite a toxic time at Arsenal, and obviously things have changed now, and I think that's exactly what we really needed. But I think people won't really see that. They'll probably just see that um, we're struggling right now in form, because when we win, no one does question Arteta, but when we lose, it's all of a sudden people are on Arteta's backs. And I get that, because I feel like for me, we've got to do the right business now in January. For me, Havertz, I do think he's going to be a good sign, and he's had really good moments. Like the Brentford game, he really helped us by winning that for us and scoring right at the end. But I do think that we've needed a striker for such a long time, and if they don't, Eddie or Arteta don't recognise that, then you do have to question them, because they are responsible for that. Nino says, hey Nino, hope you're okay. I'm done with Arteta now, nearly 700 million spent, and we're going backwards. Do you know what? You do make a point about the money. I think we have spent a lot of money, and I do think a lot of it has been successful, but some of it really has not really done well. We've had a few bad ones in there, but as Phil mentioned before, we've got a really good squad. We're rebuilding. But yeah, we have spent an awful lot of money. I mean, I think the Havertz signing probably wasn't one I thought we would make. I did think we should have bought a striker, and obviously Arteta's not really done that right now. But I think Declan Rice has been a superb sign, and he has elevated this team. But I think because of our injuries, because of not having that striker, is really affecting us. But this game was one we really should have won, and I think it's understandable if people are frustrated with not winning, with not being successful, because we don't want to keep going years and years without winning any trophies. It's a really is frustrating, and it's quite draining really to have this hope but still not win anything. Last season we did really well, and I just don't want us to go another season without winning anything. I do feel quite drained with it. I know it's the FA Cup, I know that, and these things happen, but I do feel, it's disappointing, but I also think we're going through a difficult patch, and hopefully we will get out of this difficult patch very soon. It does happen. Players go through bad form. Managers, you have to stick by managers, I do think, but I do get why people are so frustrated, because, like Nino said, we have spent a lot of money, and we really should be winning things with the amount of money we have spent. I know Chelsea as well have done that as well, and they should be back to success. But things do take time. Rebuilds take time. It has taken us a long time. From where we were when Wenger left to where we are now, we have really come a long way. But if you look at a lot of our players, I know Zinchenko this season has made a few mistakes defensively, but I think he's really elevated this team. You look at the signings Arteta's made, bringing Partey in, Gabriel, and I just think we are doing well. Trossard as well has really proven to be a good signing. So I do think there has been a lot of success with Arteta's signing. I just think we're really going through a rough patch, and I really need Arteta to recognise we need a striker. That's sort of how I'm standing. Hey Doug, well done on that win. I hope you do well in the FA Cup. Make sure Tottenham don't go far in it, please. That was a real smash and grab, but we took our chances and you didn't. Yeah, Completely agree. I think we got punished for not taking our chances, and that's what happens in football. I think, fair play to Liverpool. They took their chances on the counter attack, and now Arsenal did defend quite well for a lot of it. But this is football. When you don't take your chances, you do get punished. And it obviously hurts that we lost, especially 2-0. But yeah, you know what? We've just got to accept this, move on, and buy a striker. That's all I've got to say on that. At our lowest, we have still won FA Cups and dropped away. Most clubs, including Spurs, would see this as success. Yeah, I think we have really been through a difficult patch with, Arteta being eighth twice. I know he did take over one of the half a season when Unai Emery left, but I think he has needed time. But for me, I just really need us to win a trophy soon, because I feel like as fans we need it, as clubs we need it. And yeah, I just think we need to get back to winning ways, but I just think I want us to maintain what we're doing in the league. I feel like for me, we've really got to stay in the top four, but I don't want us to finish third or fourth. I wouldn't be happy with that. I want us to keep going for the league, because it's a long season. 5 points probably does feel a lot right now, but that's all Liverpool have. They're just 5 points ahead of us. We've got to keep going. We've got to not give up. That's the most important thing. But if we go, when the season ends, if we don't win anything, I will be really devastated. And it is looking hard right now. I mean, the Champions League isn't impossible to win, depending on what we do in the transfer window. But I wouldn't say I think we're going to win the Champions League, because I just feel like, it's our first season back in the Champions League. Maybe too soon to judge that we would win it. But with the league, I feel like it's more likely. But with the league, it's a long way to go. So I couldn't predict right now who would win it. It's a tough one. Really is a tough one to call. The fans have been questioning Arteta all season, not just during this poor patch, and it was justified because the tweaks were by his design. Yeah, I mean, I think fans are question it more when we lose, because when things don't go our way, it happens. I think because we've had so many losses recently, people will question that, and I think people are fair to do that, because things aren't going our way right now. I think we've not won our last 3 games, and I think this performance was a lot more better than our last few, like the West Ham one. The Fulham one was really the worst out of them all, I will admit that. So I do feel like, for me, yeah, we people will question Arteta. That's part of football. Maybe fans are a bit too reactionary with that, but I think this defeat is really hard one to take, because we really could have won it. I feel like it was our game to win, and yeah, Liverpool obviously smashed and grabbed. They took their chances, and that's what happens in football. As fans, we need to forget about the money, because there is no reality in the transfer market, and the fees are high even for average Premier League players. Yeah, I do think the prices for a lot of players are very too expensive, but teams like Man City can afford it. I don't know if we will have a lot of money in January. That's my only concern. I mean, I do think we'll have to sell players to bring players in. To make that money, I've mentioned before, I do think we'll probably sell players like Al Neni, Cedric. Reece Nelson I probably would want to keep, but I do reckon we'll sell him. The Nketiah is another one. I think if he had more time, he probably might have scored some of our chances, because that's the sort of player he is. He's sort of a box-to-box player. Like, when he's in the box, he can take them chances, and he can't really do anything else when he's outside the box. Like, sometimes he does go quiet in the game, but when he's in that box and he's clinical, he can take them chances. So I do think if we did sell Eddie, we'd have to bring a striker in first, because I wouldn't want us to go even more quiet in the striker situation. I wouldn't want us to lose another striker that can help us. So for me, yeah, it'd be interesting to see how much money we'll get regarding to bring players in. Phil says 10 years ago, average prices were around 10 million for a player. These days, it's more like 50 million. So we need to forget how much we have spent. Yeah, I think prices will always be a big factor in the game. People always say, question is, when we spend a lot of money on Ben White, people question that. And I just feel like he is a solid player for us. I know he's going through an injury, but today I thought he did well. I thought he had a few really good moments, especially considering he's been struggling with an injury. Um, but yeah, I do think people will always talk about how much money we've spent, because we have spent a lot of money. You can't argue that. Um, but yeah, I just think we've got to really spend big in January. I think the summer will be also important for next season, but um, I just think it'll be a lot harder this season. We can't score in a brothel with 10 grand in our pockets to dish out. Yeah, I mean, we just weren't going to score today. I think we could see that. 50 million we spent on Ben White seemed a fortune at the time, but now it looks like a bargain. Yeah, I do think that. I mean, with Ben White, I think a lot of people were like, really, like, why would we pay 50 million for that? A lot of people were questioning that, but you look at it now, like you said, Phil, it has been a bargain. Um, but yeah, I think I think that's the prices you have to pay these days now in football. That's just how it is. And the game has obviously changed. Things are more expensive. Like life, money is a lot more difficult. Like with when we did sign Declan Rice, I originally thought that was a lot of money. I didn't mind how much we paid for him because I did want him. But now looking at, he has been worth every penny. I know we've not won our last few games, and I'm not really saying that's his fault, of course, because it's due to the fact we need a striker. Um, but yeah, I just think, it is tough right now. But yeah, listen, it's not a great time. I think losing this many games is really difficult. But I do take the positive in the fact our performance was a lot more positive today. I thought our build-up play was much better. In our recent games, Arteta's clearly spoke to them about the fact we probably do look too predictable, and we were trying to make things happen. So I feel like that's a positive to take, because we weren't predictable really. We were doing things that I don't think Liverpool could read us. They didn't really know what we were going to do next, which is obviously a good thing, because if you predict what a team's going to do, it's quite boring. You know what to expect. So I really like the we were doing things on the wing, we're doing things up front in the midfield, but we just really weren't at it. We couldn't take our chances, and we're doing the striker. I was listening to the commentary, and it was so true. Andrew was saying Arsenal was so well, but our finishing was awful. It really was. We weren't really able to get on that score sheet, it is frustrating, because in that first half we could have easily won that, like 5 goals. Liverpool had a few good chances. I know Trent hit the crossbar too, but it really was. Yeah, it was a really frustrating one to. It's a hard one to take, isn't it? Really, because I know we could have won this. It would have been a big thing for our confidence going into the Crystal Palace game, going to the league. But I just don't want the same to happen at the Crystal Palace game. I don't want us to do really well, dominate the game. When they have a chance, they take it, because they do have quite a few good players in their team. And know that we have a great squad and we can win against Crystal Palace. But yeah, we need to really pick up, not our form, but the players are struggling right now in confidence. Maybe we're struggling in form. I know the striker one's important, so I hope Arteta does do that soon, because the Champions League is all we have right now, and I don't want us to drop off too much. We do need to find ways to score the back of the net. It feels almost impossible to score right now. We only paid 2.5 million for Ian Wright, which felt like a lot of money at the time. Oh my God, right now that feels like nothing. By the time, it would have felt like a lot. Yeah, the prices have changed so much since them days. But yeah, like 100 million feels like a lot. I know Ivan Toney, and I've seen that online a lot, that they want 100 million for him. And I've said I don't think he is worth that much, but I've also said that I would be. I'd take him. I'd take him any day of the week, because we need him. We need a prolific goal scorer. I know people have questioned, would he fit in our style of play? And I do think he would. I do think he would definitely help us win the league. We just need someone who's really going to help us change it for us, because we can't go on how we're doing. Things just aren't working right now. We aren't scoring. I feel like when we get into the final third, we can get in the box, but when we get in the box, we take too many touches. But I do think today was a more positive performance. I think if we turned up went to the game and we didn't really put much energy, I would have felt more disheartened. But I think the fact we did, bring that electricity in the game, especially Reece Nelson. Reece Nelson did himself proud. The fact we did that is really, really positive, and I'm really delighted about that. I just think we've got to see how we do in January. I don't want us to leave our business to the last minute, because I will feel quite gutted by that. We do need to bring a few players in. I know the summer will be big for us. I just don't want us to go another season trophyless, because I just want a trophy. I mean, I know, as Phil said, he supported Arsenal for a long time. I mean, I've seen a lot of bad moments. I've seen a few good moments. I've seen us win a few FA Cups. I would love us to win a league, because I've never actually seen us win a league. So I feel really desperate for us to win it. It'd be really great for the club. Liverpool are getting a lot of media attention in terms of little talk, but they're simply the form team at the moment. There's a long way to go till May. Yeah, definitely. I do think Liverpool are really on form. They're on fire at the moment. Really good. We've got that draw at theirs, but ever since then we've really struggled. But I would say Liverpool are probably the best team right now, really, because they are doing they're doing really good. Even without Mo Salah, I do think they'll be okay without him, because they do have that. They have other players in the team. They've got Nunes, Jota, so they'll just be fine. Diaz as well. I think Diaz is a fantastic player. I know he's obviously been through a lot, but he is a big threat for them. So I feel like, for me, they've got the squad to do that. I know Van Dijk was due to illness, but they have other defenders that can step in. But I just feel like it was really on us today for not taking our chances, and because they took their chances, we did get punished for that. We always leave our business to the last minute. I don't know why, but we shouldn't expect anything different in January. I wish we didn't leave it to the last minute. I don't know why we do that. I feel like Arsenal love to stress us out. But yeah, it is really frustrating. Really, that we leave it to last minute. I just wish we could get our business out of the way and just do this, because it really does really annoy me. Because it does affect us. We've got Crystal Palace, we've got league games coming up, and we need a striker for that game. I don't know if Arsenal have put any bids with Ivan Toney yet, or they've just shown that interest in him, because I would like us to, just buy him, please, Arsenal. Ivan Toney would definitely help us. But it is hard to find a striker these days, really, in the Premier League or out in Europe. But I just feel like that's really what we need at the club. Going forward, Nunes is chaos, not a natural striker. Reminds me of Adebayor. Clearly doesn't have a football brain. I mean, I think I was doing a video with a Liverpool fan. I think you watched it. And I think when you're new to the Premier League, it takes you time to adapt. So I feel like for him, it's probably just that. Do you think he'll be a really important player for Liverpool? But yeah, there were a few moments where I feel like he could have just scored, but he passed to Diaz. So that helped us, of course, because the pass it was probably a too much heavy pass. Saka, shave your hair. Do you know what I've seen a lot of people saying since he's had that new hairstyle, he's not being himself? I mean, he's really struggling at the moment. I mean, Saka is trying, but it's just not really gelling for him, which is obviously a shame, but I'm sure he'll be back very soon. Tooney would be too much of a gamble. Yeah, I see your pun there. I mean, I love him. I know that he's obviously gone through a lot. He's not played football for a while, but I feel like right now he's probably the only option that I probably would see as someone that we could bring in. I think we just need someone who's really gonna change things. We just need someone who's gonna score tons of goals, because that is exactly what we need. We need a prolific goal scorer. Like before Aubameyang signed this deal, we were absolutely good. He was banging in goals, and he won games for us. We need players who can win games for us, because we're not getting it. I do wish Odegaard would probably score a few more in that midfield. I know Declan Rice loves a banger too. I don't like to rely on midfielders, but I do think we should be scoring more goals in the midfield as well. I know Declan Rice gives things a good go, but I feel like a lot of our shots today from him and Odegaard were quite comfortable. I know Odegaard hit the crossbar, but I just think we need to be a bit more. Our when we have our chances, they need to be a lot more better. I do think Ben White's chance was really incredible, a good one from him. Remember, so if it's all rumours and clickbait till Arsenal announce a signing, yeah, I literally just wait until Arsenal announce it because you never know what's really going to happen. People do like to speculate, so I don't get excited until it's announced. Even when Ben White, people were rumoured about us getting him, I literally waited until we signed him because you never know really who we're really going to get. Our players shouldn't die examples, White, Saka. Yeah, I just think I thought Ben White did pretty good today, but I just think we need a striker. Hopefully, we will do that. I'll be back tomorrow with Sam, or it'll be like therapy session round 2, and I think we need to have a chat about the game a bit more in depth. Maybe tomorrow night I will feel a little bit better. I will have calmed down a bit. I mean, now I just feel more frustrated than anything. But yeah, I would be interested to see what Sam's going to say. He'll probably be even more frustrated than me because the last few games haven't been great at all. But it'd be really good to do that. I think I'll be back tomorrow after in the evening around 6ish. So I'm looking forward to chatting with you then. I've been on here for about 15 minutes. I think I've needed that rant. But if you can do smash the like button, do subscribe. Yeah, I always don't. I always wait until the club announce it. I kind of reserve myself from getting excited because it's the hope that kills you in the end, isn't it? So yeah, that's what I always do really. But yeah, big thank you. I will definitely watch a Soppy movie and forget about today. Fab Pod, as always, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you so much, Phil. You too. I hope you all that are watching this have a lovely rest of your weekend and a great next week. It's Monday tomorrow. I'll be back at college, so I'll definitely be feeling a lot tired next week. But yeah, I hope you guys do have a great weekend. Try and forget about this result because I've really learned there's no point dwelling on it because it's happened. You can talk about it and then move on. That's what I do, really. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. And please smash the like button, do subscribe. I will do a giveaway when I get to 2K as a big thank you for all of your support. But yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow evening. Have a lovely evening. Bye.